Oh, I see. I see like a big tropical forest, and you're walking out. You're like a tribal woman with a big jug, like a jar with water on your left shoulder. And you have this brown kind of long dress with a slit in the middle. And along the slit, there's like little rocks, but they're almost like hand sewn in because I see they're all differently kind of like wrapped around with a little thread. Thread looks like it's made by hand too. Very interesting. You look pretty much like you. Very long hair, like really long to the waist, a little down. And it's like big white butterflies all over the place. And just I look at this plant, it's interesting. It looks like a bush like this. And then there's like red flowers, like tulips from each kind of. Very interesting. Tropics, like Asian, uh, Eurasia, Eurasia, some. It's almost like that continent. It exists. It's in Philippines right now, but it was called a different way before because I see the trees and I see the river. I see the roots of the trees and the water and the fish like floating, swimming in between. And you have a family. You have three little girls running around playing with the black cat. It's like a wild cat, but I think you just live in nature. You treat wild animals as your family members, and they treat you the same because you take everything from plants and eat there. Like I see you eating mango type things, bananas. Well, they're like very healthy, very different skin. It's like a fourth dimension of Earth. It's not the third dimension because your skin looks semi-transparent and it's kind of peach color. Very happy environment. I feel high vibration. And then I see some dragons come one day. Like if I fast forward, it's like the green dragons was big. They draw them in the fairy tales type thing. That's how it looks, with big wings. And they come from a portal, through a portal, from third dimension on Earth to the fourth. It's like they just show up through the atmosphere, and they start grabbing. I see them grabbing like a rabbit type creature. It looks different though. It looks like half rabbit, half cat, with the tail that is kind of like up rather than down like in rabbits. They're orange looking with spots, with white spots. And I start grabbing, and I see your, it's almost like, I want to say husband, but it's not husband. It's like you just live together, but males are separate. They're mostly protecting the forest energetically, because as they walk, they form, it's like they're guards. They're walking around the mothers and children and form some sort of grid system energetically, so nobody would touch you. And also there's a big yellow kind of pyramid made out of yellow rock in the middle of the island, and it's like the place where you can recharge, and the place that gives away and connects to other galaxies. It's like your informational center almost. You connect to other. You have the connections through simply your you come from Lyra, like all of you. It's just that the pyramid is from there. I feel like it's an amber type semi-precious rock it's made out of. It's big. It's big. It's like a big building, but you can access this from all the sides, and you don't really see the doors. It's like you walk through the walls of it inside. And when you are inside, it's like a jump room. You can teleport yourself straight into the Lyra constellation where you came from. You just came here to live the experience of the 4D Earth. And I hear your name. They call you Nyrene, like Nyrine, Nyrene. So they're trying to protect from the dragons. I see they basically come by 3 or 4 or 5 to they want to make you leave this world and take it over. But what they do instead, they push you out. They push you out, but for some reason they first take the pyramid. They take it, they make it levitate with their technology, and they literally see it disappears. It's like falls through the ground into different lower dimension. That's what because they knew your source of it's like a generator of power of the island, of this land, this particular it's kind of like a part of the earth in 4D, and then there are overlays of it in different timelines of the same particular piece of earth that you call your island. And they took the pyramid that was connecting the overlays out. And that way they kind of took your teleportation device back to Lyra. I feel like they took that one over too, because that constellation is theirs now also. So you had no choice and you just escaped to the 3D Earth. And I see you as Mayans living in the mountains, because you blended. It's almost like you did blend in with those tribes, and you start sharing your knowledge from your planetary system into their knowledge. And it was interesting because you resonated with your frequencies with them. I see you drawing on the walls or on the like rocks, spaceships you came by, you drew how you make them, how the motor works, explaining all that. And it's like there's a lot of drawings on the walls of the caves. The caves had underground tunnels, like a tunneling system. They would go down, down, down. And then there would be beautiful hallways and almost like very up-to-date looking rooms. Some of them was like soft furniture, which is really weird because the whole thing looks old, like a cave. But then you you put like the rods in the ground and you showed them how you can get electricity out of the ground through the rotting system that you build into the cave walls. And then the cave walls would light up, like literally like the rocks are lighting up and the whole cave lights up without actual bulbs or anything like this. And you just start incarnating. And this is the 59th incarnation here, 58 before, because it's like you couldn't leave after that life. And all of a sudden you got stuck in the space and time technology, as you say. And there was a limit to the how long the body could last, but you didn't have that limit before in the 4D Earth. And it was also weird for you, but I do see you incarnating most of the time into this some sort of tribal type, like little girl in Alaska, I see, in the white kind of robe type thick dress with beads all over. And when it gets, I see some spots where snow melted, and you would pick up some herbs, like you were into nature a lot, into how to treat sick people, treat yourself, what leaves you could eat, what you can use for food, that you can use for making people feel better, or even like different psychological or disorders, all kinds of things you knew how to do, because you just in all those 58 lives, I see like that, like it's very like close to nature type. But the problem is, I see the 31st life, that's when those dragons started using you, and those dragons that were pushing you out of the dimension, they got connected to you, because when you were living, you were scared, you were in panic, and because of those feelings, they're low vibrational, they got attached to you, and they started being, they just walked into your energy sphere, basically got connected to you via the heart energy center. It's where connection with the soul is. And they would try to create different scenarios of your life that would make you feel, like would make your heart hurt, like heavy emotions, heavy situations would come up. It's all like you don't even have a contract. The contract was subconscious conversation in between, because those said that they lied to you. They said, well, we feel sorry for you because we had to push you out. We needed that island in 4D to live for our own species, but we're going to help you out in 3D. And you agreed to be helped out because it was hard for you to adapt. But in fact, they were just using you for energy. And it's like 45% of energy they would drain most of the time. They also used you for like portals to different dimensions, different lives, especially the connection to Lyra. They would use you as a connector to that civilization, and in your DNA they would take the information from your DNA to be used. All the technology, all the things that you knew, they just trained it, like got the information into their database from your people and just took it by force, used it for their evil purposes. And to this day, you're just like, I see you with these two dragons. There's one dragon it's a female force, like dominating energy, and it has a little baby dragon that is in your energy sphere too, and she's teaching him to fly and all this. I see. It's weird. I see this picture like she's bringing him and to feed him an energy of like I literally see a big dragon holding cow, but the cow is energetic, and then baby eats the whole thing, but basically it's the energy of it, which is interesting. Like when the soul was leaving the cow, they pulled it out and grabbed it and brought it to the dragon baby to be eaten by him. There's the implants. I see like a band on your head, like here. It's almost like they copied the band that you used to wear as because you wear that woman, that wise woman in the tribes too, but it's more like middle section of the US. I feel like Colorado mountains, like there somewhere there was a tribe there, and you used to wear that braided kind of decoration on your head, and he made the same exact thing but as an implant to send thoughts to your head, or sometimes he makes it smaller and then your head will kind of start hurting here when he doesn't like what you think about or what you feel like doing. He would want to disorient it from or make you not do it, and he would like send you pain or thoughts to do something else. And also like the red cord consisting of two actual cords, yellow and red. It's running down the spine on the back. It's supposed to disperse, disintegrate, almost like dislocate the electrical energy of the body. So it would always be like a spinning motion of being a bit like, lightheaded in a way, or disoriented, or not knowing exactly the time and space you're in, because you try to adapt, but I feel like you never did much, and he's using that fact that you're not friendly with the local control system of the earth, which is numbers, letters, time, space, and all that. Like you don't really understand it, you never did, and your inner core is against that. Your essence wants to go back to original, to Lyra, but you feel stuck in here. So I don't see those dragons doing much. I see them traded some of your DNA to other star systems. I see them on Orion and Sirius that they got for different research. And your subconscious is going back to change that moment when they did it. You were 19 when they took the DNA. And I see they also took like 5 eggs from you to create hybrids. But there's only one that was created, and it's used specifically for research. It's basically like in a glass tube on Sirius C, tiny little, it's like a satellite planet. There's an underground lab there. That's where it is. So you go back to when you were 19, when they took those 5 eggs, and when they took the DNA. and you cancel out, you kind of cut out that particular slide from your life timeline, and it falls out, and it's like it never happened. So you stop giving the 6% of your energy to that particular hybrid that you used to give every day, all the time. And they didn't make any clones or anything like this. I didn't see that. It was mostly done for short periods of time for specific research that they traded it for. But these dragons are mostly using you for energy, vital energy, for creating their own offsprings, and for themselves to eat. You're like their food. But like a battery, the endless battery. You took that band over your head, and on the back, that kind of like cable consisting of two, red and yellow, twisted together from the back, from the spine. You took it out, you threw it out in the portal, and you're ordering these dragons to go out too. They also, I see little like two angels, almost like on both sides of you after the dragons left. I started walking around you in your energy sphere, and when I told you to touch the angels, and they turned into little so-called goblins or gremlins. They have these big ears sticking out, and then brown color and like a nose, little black kind of angry eyes. And you let them in when you were 6-year-old, and you wanted some company. I see you outside, and nobody wanted to play with you, and you just called on somebody for help, and those gremlins came from the tree. Like there's a park and a big tree, and you're by the tree, and they come out from the trunk, and you can see them energetically. And they told you that they'll keep you company, you'll be entertained, and you agreed to that. And they walked into energy sphere, and they were always by your legs, right and left. It's basically up to your knees. And I feel like sometimes they would hold onto your legs, and you will feel like your legs are tired or heavy, and you need to lay down, or something's wrong with your circulation. But it's because when they grab onto your legs, they would drain your energy there too, and cause the kind of like stagnation of the flow, the blood flow, and you would feel like you wouldn't want to proceed or do something that you wanted to do before, or to walk, or to move forward in some of your plans also, because they just they call you that you are theirs and you belong to them, because they helped you, but they really didn't help you. They just wanted to get attached to you because you're just like high power for them, like very powerful. So it was a lot of energy. So they wanted to get some. And dragons didn't mind because there was enough energy for them too. So yeah, it's a subconscious conversation also. So I don't see any particular, like when your subconscious calls, there's no real existing books of life or anything you signed. It doesn't really exist. They would play by ear. It's almost like they would try to control you by inserting different ideas in your head. That's what they were doing. And you're looking at your DNA right now, which is kind of like white golden light with a little pink blicks of in it, and you're just looking at the it's like 33 strands of that DNA from Lyra that you have, and you're telling me, you look at me, say, well, I can create more if I wanted to, but what I want to do is I want to turn them back to the original, because they obviously drained some of them informationally and energetically, and they look like hollow, and you're filling them up with your own energy. And you're also looking at the your energy body. It's like you unfold yourself, here's your energy body, but then you can look separately at mental and emotional bodies, and there's like pockets there where you would put, especially in childhood, the things you were worried about, or your mental constructs, or you being upset about things, and you would just kind of like bottle it up there in the little pockets and leave it there. So that's a way for subconscious to make you that you wouldn't be bothered by everything you went through in school and with parents and all of this stuff. So you're just cleansing. You created this waterfall that you had on this island in 4D, and you're just walking through that waterfall with the wreath of flowers on your hand to mate for yourself. And all those bodies get cleansed. It's like a shower from the sky, energetic shower. It's translucent, sparkling teardrops of cleansing you. And at the same time, I see you raising your vibration altogether energetically. Also, yeah, the trolls went to the portal. You created a little tiny portal for them, almost like a tiny door. And they went to some woods they came from. So that's about it. Just looking around, walking around your energy sphere. I feel like sometimes people like put too much pressure on you, because there is some AI, like an octopus looking being, and he's just hanging in the atmosphere. But sometimes if somebody comes, let's see, you get to know somebody, or you already know a person, and they would actually use that AI technology to kind of like make you anxious or aggravate you or trigger your response. And because I see him here, and he's like outside of your energy sphere, and he's not connected to you, but he's using different belief systems when the people who are connected. It's like an egregore, or it's just like a combination of like a group of people who would use it to gain your, well, basically why they would use it, because they have implants and they have attachments of their own, and those beings in their own energy spheres would want to feed off of your energy. So they would use different programs in that AI. It's kind of like an energy creation, construction. To me, it looks like a metal, shiny silver type metal. They use one program or the other depending on the situation to trigger your reaction. So they could feed off of that low vibrational energy of you reacting to things. but it's good to be aware of it. There's nothing you can't really push it away because it's outside of your energy field. But yeah, and when you raised your vibration, I see like you literally pushed like your artificial overlaying, you know, the chakras, then they actually artificially overlaying system of implants, because we naturally are like one whole energy that is vibrating as a whole, as one, and they wanted to divide us, and through different teachings, they convinced us that we have to balance out every energy center so they work together in harmony, but in fact there's nothing there to balance out. Our original body had just only one energy force, and you know, you can call them energy centers, but they're not really divided. The same thing like we used to have like a night and Lyra, you would have, the brain wasn't divided into left and right side. It was only one piece without the division. So the same idea, you pushed out the overlays of this of the chakra system. The whole thing it just came out. It looks like, imagine like energy leads connected with little ropes in the middle, and that's kind of like a dangling, like a pendulum thing. You just put it on the portal too. And then so the whole thing is just vibrating. Your energy body is vibrating as one whole biological or energetic system. So there's no blockages or any obstacles in there. Looking at you, and you just like look transparent white with like golden pinkish aura around you. You've also been like a sea creature. So it's like I see a beluga, or you know, beluga on Earth too. So you're like you have this water in you too. Can I ask you any questions? I mean, I can look at your, if whoever you want me to look at, to tell you how they look energetically, because I see that the cleansing here is done with you. Unless you want me to stop, I can stop recording too and see if you want me to look at your kids or something like this separately.
Yeah, you can look at my kids.
Hmm?
You can look at my kids.
Yeah. So who's first? I want to. I see them came. Kind of like they're hugging each other, like they're putting arms around their shoulders, like holding their shoulders together. And one is slightly taller and bigger than the other one energetically, because the one is like strong female energy, but the taller one. But I feel also almost like warrior female energy type feeling. The one who takes responsibility for her own decisions and things like that. And I see they're protected by you. I see that you're like hovering over them all the time, like walking around like a guard. You showed me like you were changed into you know, the British guards. That's kind of like you are, almost like a mother bird. Like around. I see there's some Egyptian cat walking around, and I think she's She's watching the little. See the taller one, yeah, it's a feminine energy, but it's very strong. And the younger one looks more like a male energy, but it's soft. It's soft. And that softness is that cat came attracted to that softness. And it's from the Mesopotamia times. Because cat looks very interesting. It's got almost like decorations on her body, and that's when they were kind of like family members of the families that I see living in those kind of like tents type, where some of them clay kind of round, like igloo almost buildings. And that one is, it's like an interference in a way, because it is a watcher of this particular star race. There's like they're like this giant gray-skinned, like giants, gray-skinned giants, very tall, big skull. And that's, they sent this, and they're holding that cat by the leash, watching the kids type thing, because the kids have different personalities, but they can be used for different specific things that they would like them to use, almost like missions of some sort. But they have their specific agenda, but they're waiting for them to get older. So you're just basically putting the cat away in the portal and creating this pink vortex of energy around both of them, and telling them, giving them all the information through that vortex of energy, so they're slowly getting to absorb it. And but I feel like just by your interaction with them, you give them a lot of thought forms and wisdom from those lives, even not knowing, not even knowing about it, and they absorb it and keep it as theirs to be used later when they reach a certain level of understanding of things as they grow. So, yeah. Well, they're fine. But yeah, they're just next to you. It's all good now. And you also send information to, by the way, you did send information automatically to all the beings who are pushed out and have incarnations right now on Earth in 3D. And most of them are going to use it. I feel like 92% are going to use the information that you shared with them. And they're going to just, after their physical body dies in this life, they would just leave this construct here. So,
What about their father?
I right away saw some humanoid with the eagle, kind of like head of an eagle, and he has feathers all around his head sticking out. I just want to say it's like a German eagle, related to the tall whites, to this whole, to the whole like Nazi type control system installed here on Earth. He's somehow serving them, but he's like a digital database that I got. And I heard they call him Leonardo. I don't know, that just like I heard the tall whites that I see behind in the blue suits from the spaceship, they call him that name. And we give him the information and it looks like a crystal stick that you give to him. He looks at it kind of was he's got like his expression his changes, but he's hybrid. He's a hybrid. They mutated his DNA and they added some of the eagle type DNA because his face looks like that of a hybrid between the bird and the human. And he's very surprised. I don't feel like his consciousness level is only 43%, something like that. They're not higher than 43. It's fluctuating also. And he's not really, I don't feel like he's ready to accept this information. He's like rejecting it because there's no knowledge there. There's no understanding yet of these things. He's just totally kind of like surface. That's what they're using. They're using the fact that his subconscious knows much more, but consciously he's not aware. Therefore, can be used. Yeah, it's up to him. He's holding it, looking at it, but he's very suspicious about it. That's what I get energetically from him when you shared and you gave it to him. So you can only just wait and hope that he would use it at some point here, but I don't feel like it's gonna happen, to be honest. Just my feeling here. Unless something happens and triggers him to do it, to dig deeper, to obtain more knowledge. If you have any more questions, otherwise I'll just come out. So I'm looking at you, and the kids are fine, so that's the most important thing. The other things are just, I feel like you can't really share much with him either, because he's just not there in his consciousness level to be, so you can't really share. Maybe 43, interesting time, just like his percentage of consciousness level, 43%.